Please, I would like to introduce our new president. There's been a change of guard at TiE Bangalore. So Mr. Naganand is here. I'd like to call him on stage.
Sorry to be starting this event late. We had some, I didn't want to say that, but Samir is volunteering, so I'm fine with it. This is my first event as a president of TiE Bangalore, and hoping that we'll have a very vibrant 3 years or 2 years, whatever the period is. But I'm very glad to have you all here. And if you have any feedback on what we can do to improve TiE and make TiE better for all and make it more valuable to you, please let us know, and we'll work fervently to ensure that you get the value for your membership, and also more importantly, spur the entrepreneurial activity in Bangalore. With that, we'll start the evening event. I'd like to call upon Ganesh. I don't think he needs introduction, but he'll introduce his speakers. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Naganand, and it's a good evening, everybody. And it's a pleasure to be here. It's nice to see TiE president be entrepreneur as the TiE president, so that's very good. Otherwise, we normally have people from big bad world of venture capitalists as the TiE presidents. Okay, right? So okay, right? No, I'm going to be. Thanks, TiE, for the opportunity to moderate. I have never been accused of being moderate ever, so I'm going to moderate the session. Okay, right. So I'd request, the good thing about being a moderator is then I don't have to speak much. I have to egg on other people to speak. Okay, right. So which is great. I request Manjiri from OncoStem to come on stage, please, and Bharati, give her a big hand. She's got an oncology startup, okay, right? Bharati Jacob from Seedfund, right? Ramesh from Artiman Ventures, and Samir from Inventus. Sit. No, sit. I'll sit in the corner. Sit in the center. No, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to stand actually. I'm not going to. Okay, yeah. So what we thought. Sorry, yeah. sorry. No, sorry. Last but not least, I invite Apoorva. He's with iGATE and two-time entrepreneur. Okay, right? Give a big hand. So we have good balance of two entrepreneurs. They are more than enough to take on 3 venture capitalists. Okay, right? So that's fine. Okay, right? And I'm going to be impartial and neutral. Okay, right? So what I had requested all the panelists to do in order to make this more exciting and not the usual run-of-the-mill, everybody is good, everything is good, world is nice kind of a session. I had asked them to actually, requested them to switch their roles, okay, right? Which means Samir, Ramesh and Bharati would act as entrepreneurs, okay, right? And we'll have Apoorva and Manjiri act as the venture capitalist, okay, right? And whenever I find that it is getting boring, I'm going to step in. Otherwise, I'll like to be the neutral umpire, okay, right? So is that fine?
We would still like to hear your views.
Yeah. yeah. Thank you for that. But I'm hoping between all of you and the audience, I'll have very little to say. I'm a man of few words, but the problem is I keep repeating them. Okay, right? So I'm sure if you heard me before, it will be the same words that keep coming again and again. Okay, let me start. With Bharati first, okay, right? I've known her for more than 30 years now. We went to school. We went to school together. We were classmates in Delhi in the Tamil school. Okay, right? That's how long we know each other. Okay, right? I don't want to tell you. I've seen the shortest possible skirts and all of that stuff, but that's a different story. Okay, right? I'm not going to. Let me not go there. Okay, right? Okay. Mina's coming. Yeah. So. Bharati, I mean, as an entrepreneur who has passionately started the business, what do you see as the challenges you're facing when you're trying to raise money? Okay, right? When should you? Okay, let me point. Should you raise money straight off? When should you raise the money? And what is the toughest challenge that you have faced? And how do you handle rejection? Okay, right? Let me start with the first stage and.
VCs don't get it.
Okay. Yeah.
I have this brilliant idea, large market, I'm really passionate. Sorry. I said the first, I have this brilliant idea and I'm passionate about it, but VCs don't get it at all. They just don't get it that I can create this next Google or next Facebook out of India. And they keep asking me for more and more information. They always want to know, has something similar happened in US or has something similar happened in Europe? So can we benchmark with that? They just don't get my idea at all. That's really the biggest challenge that I face as an entrepreneur. What are the other challenges I face? I face the challenge of hiring a team. How do I hire a team? My VCs tell me don't pay them much, give them ESOP, which is not worth the paper is written on. So I'm not able to hire the top IIT guys or top engineering talent. My customers, I have a B2B business, so they're all, they don't want to pay me fast enough or soon enough for me to manage. So I need the equity funding to manage my receivables. I think these are some of the challenges I would face.
Okay, Apoorva, now I'm over to you. Okay, right? As a venture capitalist, you see a lot of these plans. As a VC, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the entrepreneur should come at a paper plan stage and raise money, or you think it's you as a VC would like to see the proof of concept? At what stage do you think they should come to you to raise the money? And
so, as a VC, or rather as a funding entity, I play two roles. The first role is to come in at the angel stage, and the second role is to come in at the VC stage or a Series A or a Series B stage. The first thing at the angel stage, and I'll take you through both journeys. The first thing as an angel, I would definitely like to invest faster, which is probably at a proof of concept level, something that I can see and feel and touch, although it might not be 100%, probably 50% of the product. Because of the fact that I'm taking higher amount of risk, I definitely would want the bigger pie of the share in terms of equity. At the Series A level, and even at the angel level, first of all, I would like to play safe. And as a VC, the first thing I'm going to go is go and hunt and find somebody who is already interested at a Series A level, safeguard myself, and only then probably take a call as an angel investor. At the Series A stage, if the risk is higher, then I would like to find a partner who would be funding. I could take a lead or the other one would take a lead. But the ideal stage of funding currently today is I would go with a low risk, wherein I know that somebody else also with me, who is another venture capitalist, believes in this.
So Samir, over to you. So on the same question, it's obviously there are two choices. You as an entrepreneur can go and raise money on a paper plan right at the beginning, because then all that you have to do is show spreadsheets and show how the hockey stick curve and how the world is going to be great. Whereas if you start operating for some time, then you have to show metrics. It's said it's far easier to raise money on promise rather than on performance. Okay, right? So in terms of what is your thoughts? What would you do, and what do you have to say as an entrepreneur in terms of raising money early versus later?
So I think I've been very confused by this term early. What does early mean? If I see the websites of all the VCs, they say we fund early stage entrepreneurs, we back teams. But when I go to VCs, they say, oh, you're too early for us. So what is early? I don't know. Yes, many of them do tell us that paper plans, show me some traction, show me some revenue. So I go back after 6 months with some traction, some revenue, and they say, show me some more traction, some more revenue. I don't know what they're looking for in terms of traction. The other challenge is, I think that, their attention span is very poor. So if I don't make a good impression in the first 10 minutes, they're yawning through the rest of that 50 minutes that I spend with them.
Or probably just say, I only have last 10 minutes left.
Yeah, so that's it. But I'm also, I can't fully remove my VC hat. So this is a double-edged thing. You better create an impression in the first 10 minutes because the attention span is poor. Okay, and the last problem that I think I face is You know, when I was building a solid technology idea, but e-commerce was hot. So all the VCs said, can you put an e-commerce flavor to this? And then I took a few months to put an e-commerce flavor to my great technology idea. E-commerce was dead. I went back to the same VCs, they said, e-commerce, don't talk to me. So that's the other challenge I face.
Okay. Ramesh, some of your experiences as you have been in the Valley, you have done two startups in the, part of two startups in the Valley, and now you are a VC, but wearing an entrepreneur hat. And specifically also talk about what change you see between the Silicon Valley early stage, what an entrepreneur faces vis-a-vis here. Because you have seen both very, very closely. And one of the things that we keep hearing is because the exits are later, easier there, and the ecosystem is faster there, you get a lot of early stage money, which is a challenge here. So talk about that. Whichever hat is fine, but it will be good for us to get a perspective of the Series A fundraising in Valley versus here, and plus your thoughts.
Yeah. So is this mic working, first of all? You can see technology already at play. There are two different technologies over here. I don't know why I have been given this, but anyway. Yeah. So let's, putting on an entrepreneur hat, and to go on the theme of what Samir was saying about what are the challenges that early stage entrepreneur faces. When you go to a VC, I find that data is never enough. So whatever you do, they want something more, echoing what Bharati said. But the other aspect is, you know, everybody wants all of the data, and the reason they give is they want to remove the risk, right? If you remove the risk, then why would I want to go to venture capital at all? You know, if everybody had a crystal ball and knew exactly where this was going, I would have hundreds of investors. I don't need to come to you for investment, right? And so that's they should, I feel that VCs should be a little more risk-taking, and they should be ready to deploy money when they see a good idea. And of course, mine is the best idea there, and they should invest in me, right? So I would say that. But coming to the question of what's different between Silicon Valley angel investment climate and the Bangalore angel investment climate, one very big difference is the quality of the people who get associated with the company at a very, very early stage. And there's a reason why Silicon Valley is probably the only place in America where venture capital is very, very successful. They've tried to reproduce it in Boston and in Texas. It has fallen flat. And one of the reasons is the presence of top quality universities in that area, professors who have been incentivized to be part of startups, and they've all made big money, and they've seen the results of all of that coming out. There are universities willing to license out technologies, and of course the California climate, so you get the best and brightest people coming into the Bay Area, and it's no secret why Facebook was moved from Boston into Silicon Valley. It wouldn't have been Facebook if it wasn't moved. One of the primary conditions for the investment was to move it to California and make it work, right? So I think the ecosystem of the people who get associated with the company is very, very important. And one of the reasons for that is I think the venture capitalists there have figured out that it doesn't matter on the business plan that they're seeing on the first day. No company has ever exited with the same business plan that they showed on the first day. It goes through many variations, it goes through many cycles, and many teams. So by the time you exit out of the company, you're doing something completely different. Right? The markets have changed, the customers have changed, momentum has changed. You've gone from e-commerce up to e-commerce down, all those things. But during all of that stuff, the thing that sticks is the quality of the team and the people who are associated with that. So. And I think in the Silicon Valley, that's one big thing that you can see, that the quality of the team is good. Second is there are a phenomenal number of entrepreneurs who have made it, who have succeeded phenomenally. In the sense they've sold companies for hundreds of millions of dollars, and they themselves are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars. So it's very easy for them to plow back into the system and encourage other entrepreneurs. A few of them become VCs, but a lot of them remain entrepreneurial. And primarily, the money is made as an entrepreneur, contrary to what Ganesh believes. VCs don't make any money. The entrepreneurs make a lot of money, and they plow it back into the system. And so there's a lot of angel money, and people are willing to take risks on young talent and young ideas. And there are many, many examples. Now in India, the ecosystem has not thrown out many examples of fresh graduates or early stage companies which have become successful in a very short time or even immensely successful yet. There have not been enough of that. But you go to the valley, there are hundreds of them, and you throw a stone and you'll find a guy who sold 3 companies already. Right? So there are enough examples of that going on. I think those are the 2 big things that I say would the difference in the ecosystem.
Okay, thanks. Manjiri, coming to you. Okay, right. So you're wearing a venture capitalist hat for this particular discussion. So one of the things that entrepreneurs, at least in Bangalore and India, find is everybody, the VCs ape the West. More often than not, a lot of money is available for IT, technology, internet, and all of that stuff. You're talking about oncology or research and this. What do you say to that? Okay, right? And how can that be corrected? Or is it this kind of risk capital or venture capital really makes sense only in technology, and people who are in other sectors should find some other solution to it? Okay, right?
This is a very complex question, and especially in life sciences, it's really hard. So, but as a VC, I can see that in India, there are really very few life sciences companies which are product driven. They're all services oriented, and as a VC, I'm not interested in them. As a VC, I really want a product driven company. But I do see the downside of it is that India has not made too many by life sciences companies which are purely product driven. So many entrepreneurs don't come to us with a great idea and so on. And even if they come, sometimes VCs don't fund because sometimes we don't understand. As a VC community, we are not that technically trained to understand really intricacies of life sciences products. And life sciences products tend to be, the life cycle is really long. It is not like IT. It takes at least 5 to 6 years to get to a stage where you can then start marketing the product. And many VCs, many of us, not VC, many of us are really not, we are not willing to wait that long. We just want quick money back. We want our returns. So many of us just don't fund life sciences companies which are product driven for that reason.
Okay. Can I jump in at any time?
Yeah, sure. Please do it. Please do. And after this, I'm going to open for the audience again before coming back. Yeah, please. Yeah, jump in. But by the way, she raised money from Artiman Ventures, okay, for life sciences projects.
So I'm just coming to that part that, but there are some of us who do fund companies like this oncology diagnostics company, which hopefully will make the difference in the lives of the patients.
Okay, yeah, you can jump in.
I have a point.
Yeah, sure, please. Sure.
So one of the observations, and coming to a serious note as an entrepreneur, which I have had, especially on the Valley, and I have actually followed them. The ecosystem which is also created there. I mean, if you look at the likes of 500 startups, Y Combinator, right? Those kind of ecosystem, yes, we are kind of coming here in India wherein people are trying to replicate those kind of models, but it's still not prevalent. Secondly, there are not many examples of, forget about India, I'm saying even if you look at Asia, or if you look at Boston or Dallas, where people have come up with ideas which are B2C. If you look at most of technology ideas in the Silicon Valley, they are mostly B2C, viral, like Facebook, like the Dropboxes of the world, etc. So the other thing that, as an entrepreneur, which I have noticed in India especially, is if you are going to a VC in India, the point is this for the India market or if it is for the US market? If this is for the global market, then I am not the right person. Then you go set up a shop in Valley, right? If it is for the India market, India unfortunately is a place where you always follow the West. So if you see, Facebook was popular here, but not iBebo.com or any of the Indian startups. If you see SMS Gupshup, although they have done well, but WhatsApp suddenly became a rage. So we have this tendency to kind of look up to of course the interfaces and everything is better there, but I'm saying, so there is a need. In Mobi, I think Naveen Tiwari is one of the best examples of creating a global company backed up by Ram Sriram. So there is a need, according to me, wherein VC should also look at cross-boundary. That is one point that I wanted to kind of make.
Okay, so that's a nice segue. Okay, now let's get back to original stuff. This switching of the hats is done. So let's get more serious. That the purpose was to wake them up and wake all of you up with contrary stuff. Okay, right? I think let's start with normal. Huh?
10 minutes are up.
Yeah. Okay, attention span is off. Yeah. So now you can now it's general. I think now the first let's get to the core of the topic. Now, one question I think all of people have when I meet with entrepreneurs and all this: when should they raise the money? Okay, and from where? What I mean is, should you go to the first? One option is the 3 Fs: friends, family, and fools. Okay, right? So that's something which you go and trace. Or angel fund, as an angel network or an angel, isn't that? Or Series A funding from a VC or early stage VC funds like the Seedfund or Inventus. If I take these 3 as categories, how much should they raise? Okay, whom should they raise it from? Okay, right, is a question that comes up. We talked briefly about, and connected to that is when to raise also. One of the main, I think the question is, wherever you raise it from, you end up diluting 20%, 25%, 30%. So if you tell me that I'm going to dilute 20%, 25%, 30% in the first round, then I would rather raise the maximum amount of money for the dilution, which automatically pushes me to a Series A rather than coming to a seed fund or Inventus, because they will put small money, but they will pretty much take in the same range, even maybe in the lower end of the range. So that, and it's worse if I go to angels, okay, right? There again it ends up doing that. So as an entrepreneur, I feel highest range is best because I will get maximum amount of money for similar dilution. Is that right? Or should I choose which one to go? Does it depend upon the business model? Bharati, you have seen this right from Seedfund, and before that, what is it? India. Infinity. So you've seen that for I think last how many years? 6, 7 years? 10 years. 10 years you have seen. So what would you recommend for people who are starting, people who are coming in? What is the thing, and what makes the decision? Assuming they have a choice and they can do that. So yeah, you want to.
So the 3 questions were: when should we raise funds, from who, and how much? I think I'll take the last one first, which is how much should we raise. I think any amount that you raise, it should have a substantial change in the value proposition or show some growth in the company. You may say that I am today, my idea is on a PowerPoint. I need to, develop the product, and then I need to go and find customers, right? If let's assume those are the stages, and today you're at a PowerPoint. You should raise at least to the amount that gets you to the product ready and an alpha customer, or more than an alpha customer. Customers have to be right up front. It cannot be, I will sit in Jayanagar, 7th block, develop my product, then go and raise funds for me to find the consumers. The customer traction has to be right up front. So you say, I will raise the amount that is required to develop the product and find the alpha customers. So that is, so once you have done that, the next stage, then you say, okay, after that I need to be a dominant player, or I need to find 100 more customers, or I need to dominate south of India, or certain geographies. So that's how, so it's like a step function. So you take one step, I have to, but that's the step that you jump forward has to be very visible to your investors. Otherwise the next stage investors will not come to you. If you haven't done these things, you don't raise enough, or you haven't done it well enough, or you've fallen short of it, when you go back for Series A or Series B, the people are going to say, what did you do with that money? You haven't done much. Go back, develop your product fully, and come back to us. So that's first thing on how much to raise. When to raise is really depends on the individual, the type of company, and the entrepreneur. It's dependent on few factors. A is you may not be able to make a fool out of family and friends to give you money. So you may not have your own savings because you've just graduated out of college. Your parents are not giving an inheritance, so you have no money to start. It's good to talk to investors right then. Secondly, I think it's It's also helps to talk to investors about your business plan early on, because you're getting certain amount of validation from them. Investors are not the smartest people. They start yawning after 10 minutes. Their attention span very short. But the advantage they have over you is they have seen thousands of business plans, whereas you are wedded to only one. They're not wedded to any business plan. And therefore, they tend to be more critical and in some ways a lot more objective. So even if you're not raising, or you do have some money from friends, your own savings or anything, it's good to meet an institutional investor early on in your life. Also, you learn what are the questions they're going to ask, what are the parameters they look at while investing, what is important to them. Which was the third one? And from who? Whether friends, family. I think I normally recommend, don't screw up your relationships by borrowing from friends and family. If you don't deliver, you might be. And what Ramesh earlier talked about, the angel investing, I'm not sure we have the angel investors that are there in Silicon Valley. Because anybody who invests in a very early stage should know and should sort of make room for the fact that he may never see a penny out of that money. So if I give somebody 10 lakhs, I may never see it. That's, I don't think angel investors, we have those kind of angel investors here. So they're expecting some returns. You don't give it to them, whether it's 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs, you may lose a relationship, which may not be worth losing a relationship. So again, it depends on each individual. There are some people who say that I go to an angel or friends, I can close the deal quickly. Some people say, no, I'd rather go to the institution. I think both have pros and cons of their own.
Yeah, can I add a couple of things to the topic? The question was, at what stage do you go, and which of these categories do you go to, right? I would go a stage before that and say, figure out what your company is, and do you really need angel money first? And if you do angel money, do you really need VC money after that?